We are making jam. Sterilizing my jars. Botulism is a real thing, so you don't want to mess with preserving. Stick around till the end for some tips on storing these preserves and also what to do if your lid doesn't seal. Canning and preserving is something that I've been dabbling with for years, but here on the homestead, I really need to step up my game because if I'm growing all this fresh food, I better be storing it. A really basic canning setup is a great thing to have. Just a few simple tools, these handy tongs that can lift the jars out of the boiling water, a canning pot that has a rack that we can put the jars on so they're not sitting directly on the bottom of the pot. Also, you can lift it out and hang it on the side, which makes it really easy for loading and unloading. I'll show you. Voila. The other tools that you'll get will be a funnel the size of the mouth of the canning jar, and also this little tool just for taking any air out once you've loaded it up. Canning is pretty simple, especially something like jam. You really just have to leave a ½ inch or so of space in the top and make sure that they're covered by at least 1 inch of boiling water when you're sealing the cans. I was supposed to heat this up to 220 degrees Fahrenheit, but I had this little candy thermometer and I wasn't able, even at a full boil, to get it above 210. So I'm just gonna go with that and can it up. I'm just gonna simmer these jars for 5 minutes to sterilize them, and then I can get canning. Cooking is not really my thing, but preserving is such a good skill. You can really see the calcium on the jars from my hard water. These ones I've cleaned off, and these ones have that white film. It doesn't really matter. This is a really simple recipe. It is just red currants and white sugar. The currants have enough pectin in them that you don't have to add any. I am no master canner, that's for sure. I have done it before. So I kind of know what I'm doing. You're going to want to get a Ziploc bag from the bunny rabbit cupboard because that's where we're going to put what's left over. And the next thing you need is this cover. So go ahead and open those up. You can either use a knife, you can use a pair of scissors, it doesn't matter. It's amazing how much it reduces. I sterilized 12 jars, but I only needed 6. Time to clean up and then take the jars out. Boil for 10 minutes, and now I'm just going to take them out and cool them. Hopefully I did a good job. I won't know until I open a jar. This simple setup really is my go-to for canning anything that's really simple. I do have an outdoor cooking stove for if I'm doing a large quantity like a bushel of tomatoes and I don't want to heat it up in the house, I have a propane setup on the side of the house that I use for larger jobs like that. I also have a brand new in-box pressure canner that I purchased more for when I'm getting into canning meats, soups, and stews, but that'll be down the road. I'm going to master preserving fruits and vegetables, and then I'll progress towards that. Botulism is a real thing, so you don't want to mess with preserving. Having said that, I always remind myself that the Pilgrims did this. It's not rocket science. You just want to do it properly. All of these jars are perfect. This jar didn't seal. Hear that? The lid's not sucked down. So I'm actually just going to try to reseal it again. Still didn't seal. So we're going to go for a brand new one. Try again. It's always a good idea to give the rim a wipe before applying the seal. If your jar doesn't seal, I would check two things. One, is it overfilled? We have to leave about a ½ an inch in the top of the jar. And two, is there a full inch of water covering the top of the jar when we're canning it? So I added some water to this pot, put a new seal on, and we'll try for a third time. Third time's a charm. Okay, the last one sealed. This is pretty groovy. I've got 6 jars of beautiful jam made from berries harvested on my very own property. Here's my tip about storing your preserves. And I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to be removing these rings once this jar cools completely. The rings are really just there to hold the seal in place, and once it's sealed, you can just take them off and reuse them and store these jars with just the sealed lid on the top. So sometimes I give preserves to people and they ask me why there's no ring, and that is why you really don't need to keep it on to store the jars. Just a tip. All right, well, that took a good chunk of my day, but I'm glad I got it done, and now I can go for round whatever of picking more of these beautiful red currants. The gooseberries outside are also coming in, so I will be looking at what I can make with those as well. At least I got rid of the ones that I had picked and that were in my fridge, and they did not go to waste like they have in the past. Making progress here on the homestead. I'm set for jam for a year, and I will appreciate the work I put in today a year from now when I'm eating this with cream cheese on a bagel. That's it for today, guys. Until tomorrow, happy, healthy living. I am Katie Kate on the homestead, and I'll see you later.